Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the home of the Philadelphia Eagles. Who is here from Philadelphia? Who is here from Kansas City? Who is a Kansas City fan? Oh, very brave. Mahone will have our number for the rest of his life. For those who are in football as I am, discontinued in the Super Bowl. At one point, it was 34-0, unheard of. And then we brought in our B team, so gave them a little chance to catch up. My name is Stefan Kneis. I'm your local host. This is my home location, while I'm not born here, but for 24 years, I'm working here in Newtown Square. Currently, I'm the Chief Customer Officer for BTP. BTP is a huge part of what you are learning for the next 3 days. And I always try to apply some of the sports aspects also to business, right? So I think we could see in Super Bowl, the team was better prepared, clearly outperformed the other team. And I think when you leave here, you will be better prepared as enterprise architects. You will be better prepared as experts in topics like BTP. Our newest baby, Business Data Cloud. Anyone followed the announcement 10 days ago or afterwards? Oh, Paul, we have to do much better here. So you need to walk away here really understanding what is Business Data Cloud all about. Yeah. I just see Paul put up my age behind me, so sorry for that. Anja, we're not doing this to you. Yeah, so I'm around SAP for a while, and I'm really excited that you guys are here. We have other experts here from BTP. You will hear more about BTP, for instance, from Stefan Peach later. And I mean, overall, a very great agenda. I want to just do 2 more shout-outs here. I want to do a shout-out to ASAC. We have some people from ASAC here that will be on stage in a minute. ASAC is an important part of this event and will be even more so going forward. And with that, it's my distinct pleasure to hand it over to Paul. Paul, you did an amazing job in putting this all together.
We had a team.
Well, I think you did a lot. Doing this in your role as a partner to SAP, it's really remarkable. So from that point, I hand it over to you, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. So welcome, everyone, and thanks for coming out. I think we have over 400 people here. We had 351 people last year. In trying times, I appreciate you taking the time. People from 13 different countries are in at this event. So it's awesome. I'm Paul Kurchina. Been involved in this community for a while, very passionate about not just engaging you folks as, it's interesting. I'll highlight one thing. This is not the enterprise architecture community, it's the enterprise architect community. Because this experience over the next days is not just about technology, it's your human skills as well. So you'll see that throughout, right? Thanks again for being involved. I also want to highlight as well, I've actually upgraded the moderator a little bit this year. Timo Elliott will be joining me. I'm not sure if any of you folks follow Timo Elliott on LinkedIn, but great guy to follow, and he's going to be helping with the moderation tomorrow and day 3 as well. So thanks for joining us, Timo, in the mix. And one other thing I want to highlight in this mix as well, Stefan mentioned ASUG. I'll really date myself. I started ASUG Volunteer in 1993. Wow, a long time ago. And started as an SAP customer way back in the day. And we set up actually in 2004 the ASUG Enterprise Architecture Community. And I'm very excited right now about, Stefan did the welcome from a home welcome as well. And ASUG is here, basically the home user group for North America. As a community, we're actually looking on doing things from a global perspective and interacting, taking this event or versions of this event, different parts of the world. So it's a great pleasure. I want to have Kelly Delling come up to talk a bit from an ASUG context, what ASUG is doing, because we're going to do a lot together. I'll term it in community-to-community collaboration as a whole to really help ASUG members and new future members come in. Kelly?
Thanks, Paul. Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Delling. I lead strategic topics and communities at ASUG. First, thank you to Paul and everyone at SAP for having us. We're so excited to be here again this year and in a more evolved role supporting this event and the enterprise architect community overall. Like Paul mentioned, well, first of all, how many people here are ASUG members? I'm just curious. Thank you. We love that. We love to see you. Who is not a member? Who doesn't know if you're a member? Amazing. That's even better. There's a whole crew of us here this week. I think there's like 8 or 9 of us here representing a lot of different areas of the business. So if you are a member, stop by the table and say hi. If you aren't yet a member or you're not sure, definitely stop by the table so we can talk to you. But like Paul mentioned, I just wanted to give a quick little overview of what we're doing at ASUG and how we want to keep evolving this community. So as part of our goal for really making sure that we're delivering content and experiences that are the most relevant to all of our members, we are really looking at evolving what the community offering is and making sure that's all encompassing of everything that ASUG does, whether it's in-person events like this, virtual experiences, or offering digital content to support. And as part of that, we really recognize that this group, what all of you do as enterprise architects, is a key role and a key part in the SAP space, in the SAP ecosystem. And we really want to double down on making sure that we're offering those experiences for you within the ASUG walls with the support of folks like Paul and with SAP. So previously, the enterprise architect community, not when Paul first started, but over the last few years has been part of a larger IT operations community, and we're really looking at kind of branching that out and evolving and making sure that we are offering content and experiences that are specific to you all as enterprise architects. So what does that mean exactly? We want to continue to talk to all of you more about what you're looking for and understanding the content and experiences that we need to evolve, but our commitment for this year is making sure that we have that ongoing active community for you as a key enterprise architects, as a key role outside of some of the other IT operations roles. So resurging that community again, kind of revamping it and expanding and bringing more content and experiences back to all of you year round. Like I said, both in-person, digital, and virtual. Again, with the support of folks like Paul and SAP. So if you're interested in telling us what you would like out of ASUG this year, definitely feel free to come talk to me. If you're interested in just understanding more about what we already have and what we're planning for this year, feel free to talk to any of the team. But with that, Paul, I'll turn it back to you.
I just had a couple things Kelly and I have been talking about. So you'll see the architects manifest themselves at chapter meetings more, tag-ons inside, maybe tag-ons, specialized meetups.
Yep.
Sapphire in some whole different ways, augmented ways too. Having an EA pre-con at Sapphire.
Yes.
An EA track, 12 sessions that are new this year.
Yeah, our big commitment, I would say, from an in-person experience this year, like you mentioned, we have 4 conferences throughout the year that we support. Carrie Hughes is sitting right here, and then Alyssa Perna, they support our conference programming. And we really want to make sure that there's tracks dedicated to enterprise architects at all of those this year, or at least dedicated sessions for you. So like Paul mentioned, Sapphire is coming up in a few months. We're working on a dedicated ASUG pre-conference seminar taking place Monday before the event starts, and then key sessions and tracks at the event itself, and same thing with the other events throughout the year. So whatever the event is that you're looking to attend, there's going to be some dedicated enterprise architect programming for you. Like Paul mentioned, we're also looking at doing the same in our local chapters. We have 38, almost 39 regional chapters located throughout all of America, and we want to make sure that there's prominent content.
And what about Canada?
Well, I said all of Americas. I didn't say U.S. I said Americas. Yeah, so making sure that we're not only being able to offer digital and virtual content year-round, but offering in-person content for all of you. So no matter where you find yourself in person, there's going to be some dedicated enterprise architect.
And by the way, I want to do a special shout-out for, if you look at our community so far, it's been enterprise architects cross-industry. We're actually going to have a focus on by industry, too, and we've actually started it here. In working with ASUG and Mark Rawson and that, there are over 30 utility customers that are here at this event. And that will manifest itself for the SAP for You event in Denver in September, right? Further engaging not just cross, but by industry with different enterprise architects. So definitely go talk to the ASUG folks. And Kelly, thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Again, thank you, SAP.
Now I would like to call up Anja Schneider to say a few words of welcome. And I do want to thank many different architects teams that have been instrumental in helping us together, but especially Anja and her team. And there's been a lot of behind the scenes work. And I commendation to their team, because it takes a lot to work with me or learn to work with me. They've done amazing. Anja?
Thanks a lot, Paul. And good morning. Are you Are you pumped up? I felt it already. It was working well when Stefan was showing his age. And I did not know that it is, 36 or 39? Impressive, impressive. Yeah. I was playing with that, Stefan. So good to have you all here. And I think for me, Paul, it is a true pleasure to work with you because I think it is especially...
You really mean that?
Yes, I mean it. Right now I still mean it, but I don't know how it's turning out over the rest of the day. So overall, I think it is really impressive when people are coming together. And I think if you take a look at your left and to your right, it's not a Teams meeting. It's not Outlook. It is real people that drive a community. And I think if I take a look at who are enterprise architect veterans, Peter, only you? Alexander? Okay, three? Okay. Who is new to the enterprise architecture practice?
Awesome.
Okay, awesome. Good. Excellent. And then there are a few ones who are not yet decided. That's also good. We will make it happen today. And for me, it is important that we are collaborating across, that we are sharing, that we are also sharing some of the great stuff that's coming up in 2025 and beyond. And what also Stefan already mentioned earlier, it is all about the topic of how do we also make sure that the applications, SAP and non-SAP, work together? How do we bring out the best out of the data? And then also in the end, how do we make sure that AI can be applied? And there was on February 14th, there was an online event. It was the Business Unleashed event, where we have launched officially the Business Data Cloud. You will hear that over the course of the days as well, even more with more details. I will also cover it in my session later on in the morning. So more to come, but this is definitely an inflection point, how to create data out of SAP and non-SAP data and bring it all back home. And I think especially also bring it all back home means that there is now it's the third time in a row, right?
Well, COVID slowed us down a little bit. The first time was February 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, COVID slows down just by a few years.
And I think that's also amazing. And who was in the first event in 2020? Good, couple of returners, that's good. Who was in the event in San Ramon? Okay, as well, a couple of returners.
It was a smaller event, about 80 people.
It was a smaller event, but it is...
And actually, a year ago here, who was at the event a year ago here?
Oh yeah, thanks.
Oh, well, awesome. And by the way, I'm seeing the people in the broadcast rooms upstairs, I'm sure, raising their hands like crazy in Solutions and Demo Room A.
Yes. Yeah, and that is, by the way, also something that I wanted to share. We have here an immense crowd of people, which is great. We have a lot of...
and a live stream. People are watching different parts of the world.
We have a lot of people in the different rooms because the capacity of the room is not enough. That's amazing. And as well, welcome to the live stream. So I hope that you will follow all of the amazing topics around enterprise architecture and how we bring that all, building it back home. So we have a lot of sponsors as well. Thanks for that. You can see them as well outside.
And you can see them on the screen here. We want to thank them all.
See them on the screen. That's also amazing. And for us, it is important in the end that you take the best out of it and that you can also make a connection, not only in person, but also on what does, for instance, Signavio mean? I have seen yesterday already the presentation of Tricentis. What does it mean with LeanIX? How has it all something in common when also SAP talks about the integrated tool chain and the RISE methodology? So more to come over the rest of the days. And I would say that's all for the opening.
No, I'm not done, though.
That's all from me for the opening. Let's see again if you are still pumped up. Okay, still alive? Good, excellent. So then I hand it back to you.
Thank you very much, Anja, and thanks for your support again. So while I'm on this slide, in terms of, I want to really acknowledge our supporters and sponsors, SAP and ASUG, for all their support throughout this. I mean, it's just incredible to have a facility like this to do this event, right? And be able to, as we get more people in, not say no, but accommodate everyone in the room in different forms and fashions. I want to thank all the sponsors that are listed on this A great group of people that are here to help you, right? In many different forms and fashions as well. But you know what's interesting about this event is a couple different things. We have customer learners that are here, we have partner learners that are here, and we have SAP learners that are here, and we have other people, we have some people here that are in between jobs that are taking the time to learn here. We have a number of a great Women in Architecture program with other people learning. So it really is a true diverse community of different people coming together. And I'll just go back to this slide for a second. And it's, many of you seen this before, talk about my 8 C's of community, or our 8 C's of community. You know, it's not just content. Content is key. It's curation and sense making. That's why many of us are here, to unpack things. Anja mentioned about the Business Unleashed announcement that it was back on February 14th. I will admit I kind of felt bad because we published an agenda pre-February 14th with some titles that maybe were hidden or misleading. We made up some titles, and then once February 14th happened, we could say what the real titles were. But we really did a good job of preparing, unpacking, to creation and sense making of Business Unleashed here over the next few days. So you have that in the program as well. Curriculum, what we've tried to string together in content, pre-cons, and different things is a flow for learning throughout the entire program for you. Coaching, mini experiment up in Demo Room B. You know, we're gonna have some EA experts in the room there. You can pop up in Demo Room B to ask questions. You can go to the vendor area outside to ask questions. Different forms and fashions. How many of you, all the hands again, are new to enterprise architecture? We have so many people that are here that are experienced that you can talk to in many different places, and we're here to help you connect. Connection is really what this is all about. So you'll connect through the different days, and we purposely did no buses to some other reception. The next 2 days, we are gonna walk down the hall in cafe. It's gonna be transformed to an experience for a few hours, where we have different areas set up where different book authors are in there in terms of Linux, AR, VR stuff. So we have a number of different, in essence, stations throughout where people hanging out in the different areas for you can talk to for the conversations. Crowdsourcing as well. We're going to do a post-event valuation survey. It's not a survey where 5 questions, check off boxes A, B, C, or D. We're going to have some questions, a few of them are like that, but other questions, we want to really hear what's on your mind, right? What did you get from some of the things in here? What are you missing? What do you want to know about AI? Different things, right? And we're gonna do it along with ASUG as well, look at the data that's there. It's pretty easy with AI to analyze open-ended questions, to really help us help you by filling in the different responses. And really doing more as a community from a collaborative side as well. But I want to emphasize one more thing, another C, it's caring. It's caring to make a difference, right? I think many cases that is why we're here. And we're going to try to set up a program where basically mentoring as well. In terms of, I asked this question on day 3 last year. How many of you are more experienced architects would be interested in mentoring other architects or new to architecture? Show of hands, how many would be interested? So Kelly, can you look too? Yeah. A lot of hands are showing up, right? You folks want to give back and help the next generation in different ways, right? So we're going to try to do some things to make those connections happen. So thanks for joining us on that. And I want to highlight as well a couple things in here, which is interesting. We have a Women's and Architects program in here. And actually, it's interesting. Our sponsors for the Women in EA reception are 2 female founders of startups, which is kind of cool. So we like to just showcase not the experienced companies, but some new companies. Sophia, we have a startup booth at the far end of the vendor area. She'll be there today to basically show basically what she's doing from a startup side. So it's pretty cool the things these young ladies are doing. And the other piece as well, the second startup that you'll hear from tomorrow, Emma, a very interesting young lady, former DeepMind, crazy smart from an AI side as well. So another example of a young woman architect doing some good stuff. And to balance things out, I've got, let me determine, an older architect on the other side. You'll hear a little bit later on, really experienced architect, the whole generation to generation learning side in play. So I'll highlight that as well. And just very quickly, I'm not gonna go through all the elements of this agenda. We've got a full flow. And as a reminder, so everything is being this morning. We have one stream this morning, but we break out in the afternoon. A reminder, 1 in 4 we're recording, lots of good stuff going on. And we have one challenge today. My one challenge today is lunch. So here's what we're going to do for lunch. On floors 2 and 3, we have dining. We encourage customers maybe on 2 and 3 for dining. We also have as well for the SAP people, you know you can access cafe in here, so go for it. And for many of the partners and others, we have vouchers for you for the cafe that's just down the hall, right? So if you're a partner or some of our other guests in the room as well, visit the ASUG booth as well. They have vouchers for you. Food is awesome in there, similar food to the other places. So that's our way of spreading things around. Is that okay with you folks? Much better than just cutting things off at 200 and you folks could not be here. So that's all great on that end. So, and again, I remind you, reception afterwards, buses going forward, so that'll be good. I want to highlight as well, this afternoon starting at 3:40, the Women in Architecture is happening on that. So they even welcome some men if you want to join in the mix as well, but that'll be a great session and then a reception as well. So definitely. And what really good about that, community-to-community collaboration is key. So we have collaboration from ASUG's Women's Connect, we have the SAP Business Network, as well as Women in ERP coming together as a group to help women in enterprise architecture. So pretty excited that we've added this to this program. And by the way, not just for this program, but beyond this program as well, which is pretty cool. I want to highlight as well for my friends at LeanIX in the room, we brought in LeanIX training on site as well. So we did a great session yesterday. LeanIX did it yesterday afternoon as part of our pre-cons. There's another session I want to call out for beginners LeanIX session that's going to happen on Wednesday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. So Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for LeanIX training. And the other thing I want to highlight as well in the mix is on Thursday, we have 2 streams on Thursday. The keynote stream happening in the morning in here, and another stream, which is a 4-hour session on LeanIX intermediate training as well. So definitely check that out. And the other cool thing we've added that you'll see inside the receptions this evening is a cool AR/VR with Apple Vision Pro and LeanIX interaction. So definitely check that out. We put in some novel things inside the event. And the question of the book as well. So again, we've got copies of the book. Authors will be inside the cafe this evening, signing copies of the book. So trivia. How many of you ever bought an SAP press book? Curiosity? Did you know that this is the first SAP press book in color? In color, right? All the rest of them, really, if you think in the pages, they're black and white. This is the first color book, so side note. So Anup, Peter, and Johannes are here, and Anja, thanks for making it happen and bringing members of your team here that read the book. An awesome group. So I get a slight mention in the book. It was interesting. I'm called an enterprise architect activist, which is kind of weird, but maybe appropriate, I don't know. So just before we get into our next speaker, Anja mentioned briefly the San Ramon event. SAP has an amazing facility in San Ramon. It's the SAP Academy for Engineers, run by VR Feroz. And we brought together our first cohort of architects. We had about 70 people there, mostly North America, but we had some people from Middle East in for a week. It was impactful in a week, and something interesting in the week as well. So this is interesting. We had guys and we had women. Day 4, the guys were hugging. The guys were hugging. And it was impactful. And some of the ladies, Claudia, who we meet later on, is in there, said basically, the lady said basically, the guys were hugging, so we felt we kind of had to hug too in the mix. So it was incredibly impactful. So before we roll the video and highlight, most of the people you'll see in the video are actually at this event. Speaking, you'll see them around, so you will recognize some of the speaker. Roll the video, please.
Enterprise architect performs a very important function.
Being a good storyteller,
Having that sense of curiosity.
having to work with very complex landscapes.
Connect the dots between things that weren't connected before.
It's people who are likely to help drive the clients of SAP and SAP into the future.
SAP is undergoing a massive transformation where a lot of our customers are moving to the cloud. And for this to be successful, you need the best enterprise architects.
There's never been a better time to be an enterprise architect. The role is in demand because of the complexity of people making transitions in their technology.
An enterprise architect helps the leaders of an organization understand what technology can help to propel that organization forward.
For the last few years, we've been building a global enterprise architect SAP community, and the vision was creating an academy. So what we've done is curate a program of both technical skills and the human skills to accelerate architects in their knowledge as an enterprise architect.
Most important thing I've learned is that companies don't transform, people do. So the only way for a company to transform is for a people to transform. Like never before, it's very important to grow and to learn. Having this growth mindset really is about upgrading your mental operating system. And this space encourages you to do it.
Peeling back the covers in what these models can do hopefully gives you an idea of what they're actually good at, but more importantly, what they're not good at.
The best AI is that which you don't even know it was there, or if it is there, you're surprised that it happened. We really wanted to provide an immersive experience, and that includes the core SAP business knowledge, the technology of the future, and the human element.
So you are going to spend more time talking with the business, understanding how you can bring value. How do you articulate that value? How do you build the business case for the future? How do you drive that change? How do you adopt that change? That's the role that we see you playing.
The best architects tell the best stories. If you're trying to sell a multi-year roadmap that's going to cost millions of dollars and you genuinely think, for my company, I think this is the right thing to do, you got to be able to sell it.
The technology has now become table stakes. Now we are being asked to be storytellers, to be great listeners, to understand the business, the complexities. We need to be futurists, to think about the long-term changes. So the skills that we require to have as an enterprise architect are evolving towards the soft skills, the psychology, the arts, and explaining our ideas.
The ability to decide what is right or wrong is entirely yours. Our job is to provide you a wide palette of perspectives so you can think critically about what is right yourself. The most important skill is to be able to think independently.
Well, the SAP Academy gives the participants a chance to interact with each other and to learn best practices from some of the top engineering talent in the world.
It's been a great experience. From day one, I have learned a lot of new things and met very inspiring people.
A lot of knowledge exchange, a lot of expertise.
It's a great experience. It's an opportunity to hear from some great thought leaders, some amazing architects, and moreover, the conversations that you have over dinner are where the real value's at.
I think when it comes to SAP Academy, there's nothing that beats coming together in person and thinking about things at all different levels. We're talking at a 50,000-foot level philosophically, and we're talking at the 1,000-foot level of the various innovations that are coming out, and even the 10-foot level of the data science behind these large language models.
We're looking at having these conversations continue on through the other events that we have throughout the year, so that momentum continues to build in the enterprise architecture community.
Isn't that a great video? And why it's so important, I wanted to share with you now, is the fact that this will be some of the experience that will unfold for you over the next few days as well. And by the way, our next academy is going to be October 13th to 17th at San Ramon, and we're looking potentially at other places. So just a reminder for people in the room that are standing different things, we have broadcast up in Solutions Room on 2 and on 3 in Demo Room A, right? So feel free to go the other places. So